You know, if we get a new Nintendo console in the coming years, I really hope it's like the Nintendo Switch. I love the portable aspect of the Switch and the fact that I can play these huge Nintendo games and even third-party games on the go or on a big TV. Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo Show, where we cover the latest gaming news, leaks, and rumors from Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo in 2020 and beyond. If you want to be kept up on the latest gaming news, make sure you click that red subscribe button below this video and that notification bell so you know when I upload. In this video, we're going to go over some news about the Nintendo investor meeting, but instead of talking about new Nintendo Switch games, this time it's about a new Nintendo console. It's actually pretty crazy that the Nintendo Switch is 4 years old already. So I think a lot of us were expecting a new Switch or a new Nintendo console eventually. Next gen is just around the corner, so a bump in performance would be a huge help when securing those third-party games. As well as a great addition to the first-party exclusives for the Nintendo Switch like the Marios and Zeldas, it would give a huge performance and graphical bump, which is always a great addition to Nintendo games. Now we have had a lot of rumors about a Nintendo Switch Pro a while back, a whole brand new Nintendo Switch that's more powerful than the current Nintendo Switch. One of the reasons why Nintendo would need a refresh is to secure more third-party support as well as running bigger games. Really? We're doing this again? I know for a fact I definitely paid that power bill. Hold on, let me find the Switch. Anyways, aside from Nintendo talking about Nintendo Directs and upcoming Nintendo Switch games being on track, Nintendo also talked about a new Nintendo Switch console, and this is what they had to say. Our current generation system, the Nintendo Switch, has been in its 4th year since its launch, but its momentum is increasing. We believe that there are 2 factors behind this. The first is the existence of 2 hardware configurations with different characteristics in the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch Lite. The second factor is that Nintendo's development resources are concentrated on developing content for a single platform, the Nintendo Switch. We want to extend the life cycle of Nintendo. Now, to add to that, Yoshida had this to say, and this is where things get really interesting. With the Switch, Nintendo has learned how important it is to make the console that fits into a consumer's daily life, which means giving consumers multiple ways to play. To Nintendo, this is what made the Switch so successful, and that's not something that will be lost on the team who designs the next Nintendo console. Now, he goes on to talk more about how Nintendo is learning how the Nintendo Switch fits into everyone's everyday life and how different it is from past Nintendo consoles. Now, they mentioned the team that designs the next Nintendo console. This would mean that the next console isn't being designed yet, but it is on Nintendo's mind. Not only that, but the way they speak about the Switch and adding in the last part about the next Nintendo console really makes it seem like we could see some sort of Switch upgrade, or maybe not even a Switch upgrade, but something else. To add in some speculation for the future of Nintendo consoles, I think it will be some sort of Switch 2, a more powerful hardware that plays games exclusively for that platform, but I think Nintendo will still use cartridges so it can be backwards compatible with the Switch games. So why do I think this? We saw this with Nintendo's other handheld consoles and even their consoles. The Wii was able to play GameCube games, the Wii U was able to play Wii games. I mean, Nintendo's handheld console, the original DS and DS Lite, was able to play Game Boy Advance games. Nintendo has had a long history of doing this, and what better way to continue the success of the Nintendo Switch than convert people over to a Switch 2 and make sure you still have that Nintendo Switch install base. And if it's backwards compatible with the Nintendo Switch, then that means these people will have games to play on their new Switch as well as games for the Switch 2. Now, of course, this is speculation on my part, but it's based on what Nintendo says, so take that with a grain of salt, but it's something to really think about in Nintendo Switch 2 that plays Nintendo Switch games. Oh, and by the way, tell me your thoughts in the comment section, and thanks for joining me on the Robo Show. And for more video game news just like this, subscribe to Robo Rob Gaming. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.